Welcome to Agriculture. This series is designed to promote and showcase women working in the field of agriculture in this state. This month we will feature my good friend AJ Buffalo-Tollett. AJ is a stock contractor and raises bucking bulls on the professional level. She makes her home here in White County in the El Paso community, and this is her story.
So I've started a breeding program kind of by accident. I bought a cow and she was bred and she had a heifer by her side, and then I was given a cow and I didn't really know who I was going to breed to or what I was going to do or what I wanted to do. And then I got real lucky and I've been following this blueberry wine clone. He was created in a lab in Pennsylvania 14 years ago after blueberry wine died in 2009, and I'd been following him. He'd changed hands and the guy actually went through and got everything done to get him registered with ABBI, because in years prior to that, the American Bucking Bull Incorporated registry did not allow clones to be registered until there was a horse breeding organization that got taken to the high courts for not letting clones be registered. So ABBI decided that they would change it, allow them to be registered, and nobody had ever done it for this blueberry wine clone. His name is 911 Alter Ego. He looks just like blueberry wine. He acts just like blueberry wine. He's built just like him. And I got offered to buy him. And at that point, you know, I had like one cow at that point, and I didn't know really what I wanted to do. And I couldn't, what they quoted me as far as what he cost, I didn't really want to spend that on a breed bull that I didn't really know what I was going to do with. They ended up not getting what they wanted for him, and the guy contacted me and he said, "We're going to raffle him off, AJ. I wanted to tell you first because you've shown all the interest in him. You asked all the questions about him. You picked my brain about him for months." I bought 2 tickets. I always, if I do a raffle, my birthday's the 13th of March. Lawrence was the 23rd. I won with Lucky 13. I had $200 in my fuel to and from Canton, Texas in this bull that it cost $80,000 to create 14 years ago. It was 12 years ago then when I got him. And so then I just started gradually accumulating a few cows here and there. And now I've brought Lauren's Dream home off the tour, off the PBR tour, and he's home to breed my cows and my heifers. He will be breeding to all of the Alter Ego's daughters. So hopefully we can get some old school bloodlines and some new school bloodlines meshed together and come up with some really, really high caliber bucking bulls. When a bucking calf is born, a bucking bred calf, you're hoping for a heavy side on your calf crop on the bulls because you're hoping to produce that next big bucker. You want some heifers to carry on the genetics that you're working with. I wean at 6 months. By 8 or 9 months, I want to have a dummy on them, a weighted dummy, coming out of a bucking chute. Start working them. You can work them, dry work them, just run them into the bucking chute and out into the alleyway, into the bucking chute and out into the alleyway, so they know to go out. They know they can get out when they go out. You can start competing with them when they're a year old with the American Bucking Bull Incorporated futurities. They dummy buck their first year, they dummy buck their second year, and then their derby year they get a rider. There's a lot of, I spend a whole lot on feed. I use a very high protein feed with a lot of fat in it, supplements, minerals, anything. I mean, you're conditioning an athlete. You want to get some exercise in on them. You know, just lapping them in the arena, just getting some exercise, building muscles, getting them ready, getting them big enough to put a rider on. You know, we can start some of our bigger calves, you know, in their late 2-year-old year with small riders, which I've got a couple of kids around here that are pretty handy that I can put on my smaller bulls, and they do pretty well with them. Not every calf, not every bull calf born is going to be a bucker. We have generations and generations of registered bloodlines that we're working with to create these bulls, but not every one of them is going to be a bucker. I've got one standing out here right now that's 3 years old. All the genetics in the world behind him, and he thinks he's in the Kentucky Derby when he comes out of the chute. I'm fast. You start seeing whenever you're bucking them with the dummy, you start watching. Pretty much, you can click the dummy off anytime, but I want them to turn back a couple of times before I click them off. You know, before I click the dummy off of them with the remote. If they just keep going and going and going and they don't turn back, you know, like they're gonna do something, then you buck them a few times, and sometimes they're a cull, sometimes it's not in the cards for them to be a bucker. So you pick and choose. You figure out who's going to make your athlete, who's going to be that next big bucker that you're going to send off or take to the PBR tour or the PRCA.